Hello, and welcome to Viva La Action, the podcast where we're talking about all things action movies. The good, the bad, and the underrated. My name is Santi, and with me as always is my co-host, Grayson.
Hello, that's me.
Thank you for intimately holding the mic for me.
I got you. You could have grabbed it
I could
any moment.
Any moment, yeah. I tried not
you-
to make too much eye
and you
contact.
chose not to.
That was upsetting.
Hell of a start.
Hell of a start. Hold on. One of us is loud.
Whoa. Is it me? Am I loud?
No, actually, you're good.
Ooh.
That was like a Jeff Goldblum impression you just did. Now we're fine. Okay.
Very good.
Yes. If you're not watching on YouTube, we're in a different location.
We are.
We're on a couch.
We're in a secondary location.
We are. We've been taken to a secondary location. We've been kidnapped.
Yeah. Send help.
And we've got a new host here.
Yep.
This is Rufus. Everybody say hi.
Hopefully that picked up.
Hopefully it
something.
picked up.
He's
yes.
very eepy right now.
I have 3 dogs, and it's not always feasible to watch them while we're in the podcasting studio. And so we're in my living room.
Why can you call it a studio when it's just your third bedroom?
It's just a third bedroom. Yeah.
One day we'll get a studio.
We will. We'll hire out a studio for some space, and we'll have a good time. Sorry, everybody. This is a rough start.
Yeah.
I haven't even pulled up my notes yet.
Oh.
Grayson, if somebody's never listened to the show for the first time, what's it all about?
It's about action movies. The good, the bad, and the underrated.
Yes.
We talk about them. We watch them, and we talk about them.
Yes.
Hopefully you watch them, although some of them, like the last one we did, you should never watch.
No. And nobody has.
Good. Keep it that way. This shit was real bad.
It was ass.
Yeah. But some of the stuff we watch, you should watch.
Yes.
And then you come here and listen to us talk about it.
Yes. And boy, oh boy, are we going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
We be talking.
We do be talking. It's almost like that's what a podcast is.
It is what a podcast is, or it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some podcasts are probably just white noise.
Probably.
Or just AI-generated slop.
Yeah. That's one thing. That is a guarantee on this show. We will never use AI.
We will not use AI. Ever. It's just not. And we won't run ads because I hate ads.
I also hate. Every time I see an ad, I immediately... ads don't work on me because they have the opposite effect.
Yes.
If it's something that I thought I might want to get at one point, and then I see an ad for it, I'm like, I don't want that thing anymore.
Yeah. It's the thing that bugs me the most, and we're already off on a tangent. when I'm because I listen to a lot of podcasts,
Yeah.
right? About all kinds of things. But the worst ones I listen to a couple of sports podcasts.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. It's like being bombarded constantly with gambling ads. And it's like here's the thing. We cannot legally in the state of New Mexico bet on sports, right? It's not legal here. So, well, you can. You have to go to a casino. You can't do it from your phone.
Gotcha.
So not only are these ads annoying, they're completely irrelevant to me. So it's like I am sitting there just skipping through 20 minutes of ads just to get to the 5-minute podcast I'm trying to listen to.
Yeah.
Anyway, fuck ads.
Yeah.
We're never going to have them here.
Yeah.
Even if it makes us no money. I'm so stubborn about it. It's so annoying. Anyway, yes. We talk about movies here, and we talked about a movie this week, Grayson. Or we haven't I do that every time.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it yet.
We're going to.
We're going to talk about a movie
right now
called Kill Bill.
Come on, bitch. Come on. Bring it
This was recommended by a listener.
Oh, yes.
So this was recommended by Riley.
Hi, Riley.
It was submitted to us through our Google form.
Yes.
Note to future Santi: cut out this and put it at the beginning.
Yes.
If you're not paying attention, if you're doing that thing where you're editing while you're also doing other stuff, listen to me,
You motherfucker.
motherfucker. Cut this out and put it at the beginning. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. If you watch the movie,
You'll get
understand
that.
that.
You'll get it. Kill Bill, Grayson, is
Yes.
a film duology directed by Quentin Tarantino with a script by Quentin Tarantino, Uma Thurman, Kazuo Kamimura, and Kazuo Koike. Both films star Uma Thurman as the bride, with support from David Carradine, Lucy Liu, Vivica A. Fox, Daryl Hannah, Michael Madsen, Gordon Liu, and Sonny Chiba. Volume 1 carries an 85% critical score on Rotten Tomatoes. Would you like to guess what Volume 2 carries?
80.
84.
Ooh, wow. They liked it 1% less.
Both films passed the Bechdel test with
Yes.
flying colors.
Yep.
And Grayson, the plot synopsis
Yes.
for both films. So the plot synopsis for Volume 1. After waking from a 4-year coma, a former assassin wreaks vengeance on the team of assassins who betrayed her.
Bum, bum.
And Volume 2, the bride continues her quest of vengeance against her former boss and lover Bill, the reclusive bouncer Bud, and the treacherous One-Eyed Elle.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
Can I just say, I'm in love with Lucy Liu.
Oh, she's the best.
I don't care what she's in.
Yeah.
I'm in love with her.
Oh, she's just wonderful. We'll talk about Lucy Liu. So here's my thing. Before we get into this fully, I think it's beneficial to just go full spoilers in this
Oh, yeah.
because they are two separate movies, but they kind of work as like one movie.
Yeah.
Even though they are split into two, and I think it's worth talking about them as two separate movies, but they kind of are like formatted in a way where you can finish part one and then immediately watch part two,
Yes.
right? And it's like kind of flows together as one narrative. So in that interest, I would just say we will probably spoil things throughout this entire thing. So if you've never seen the 22-year-old movie Kill Bill at this point,
Yeah.
then tune out now.
Go watch them.
Go watch
It'll
them.
take you about 4 hours.
Yeah.
But then come back here. And
It's worth watching. I think they're good. They're very, very good. We'll get into more of that as we go. But
Yeah.
I kind of just spoiled what I think about it. But Grayson,
Yeah.
what did you think of these movies? And you can give them separate
Yeah.
like ratings, I guess, if you want to.
So I'll do 3 separate, I think, how I like them.
Okay.
The first one is fine.
Okay.
I'm going to preface this entire episode with this first before I continue saying anything.
Yes.
I do not like Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
I think he's a bad director.
Okay.
I tried to watch Pulp Fiction. I
Yeah.
got about 30 minutes into it and said, all right, I get it.
Okay.
Same thing with Hateful Eight. I got
Yes.
about 45 minutes into that one, and I went, why are you using the N-word so much?
Yeah.
And okay, I get it. And I
Okay.
left. These are the first 2 Quentin Tarantino films I have actually fully finished
Yeah.
in my life. With that said, the first, Kill Bill, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Second one, I liked just a bit better
Okay.
because it wasn't as, for me, pretentious and
Okay.
I don't have a problem with things being artsy, but the first one was it felt like it was artsy for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
And then the second one felt more like a genuine just action movie.
Yeah.
So I liked it a little bit more. As a whole,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was pretty good. I can see why this is a cult classic and
Yeah.
why it is so loved.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time with Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
So
I think that's fine.
As a whole, pretty good. First one, second one, better.
Okay.
So
I think that's interesting because generally speaking, people like the first one a lot better
Really?
for sort of the opposite reasons of you just said. So most people seem to feel like the first one is much more of the action movie.
Really?
Yes, but with the main reason being that it has the Crazy 88 massacre in it.
Yeah, that's true.
And the second one doesn't really have like a big explosive action scene. It has kind of like 3 smaller action scenes.
Yeah.
And whereas the first one has like a couple of little ones and then like the big one right at the end. Right?
Yeah.
And the second one focuses a lot more on sort of the character of the bride.
Yeah.
And like how she got to where she is.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people kind of have the opposite where they like the first one a lot better. And then the second one is kind of like
Yeah.
less loved, but still kind of beloved. Here's what I'll say. I don't dislike Quentin Tarantino. In fact, I quite like a lot of his movies. But I think the perception of Quentin Tarantino is like a little bit removed from reality. So like, I think a lot of times he gets thrown in the like auteur conversation. And I'm not saying he's not, but there's like a lot of like weight given to his movies, right? When I feel like he'd be better appreciated if people just realized he's really good at making pastiches of things that he likes.
Yeah.
Right? So like this movie, and we'll get into this a little bit more, it is basically just like a mishmash of different exploitation films from the 70s. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. And for somebody like me who really likes that kind of thing, I get a big kick out of that. Because there's a lot of stuff where I do the Leonardo DiCaprio meme and, point, whatever,
Yeah.
which comes from a Quentin Tarantino movie. But
Wait, is that?
that's from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was Wolf of Wall Street.
No, that is not a Quentin Tarantino film. That is a Martin Scorsese film. That's fine, though. Yes. Anyway. Yeah, so I feel like, on the one hand, I feel like he gets too good of a rap. But then also on the other hand, I feel like it's also not fair that like people assign that to him when I don't think he's ever tried to be that.
Yeah.
Right? Like he kind of just makes the movies he likes, which
Right.
like in the modern movie landscape is kind of odd that he's like been given enough kind of credence that he can just be like, I'm going to make a 4-hour long martial arts movie from the 70s. And everyone's like, okay,
Sure,
Quentin,
whatever.
Sure. But I will say too, it is a taste thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're not into that stuff, I don't know if this movie is going to totally work for you.
Right.
I think you also have to kind of be on board for some of Tarantino's griminess.
Yeah.
Which like, it is kind of like a postmark of that kind of movie, right? Like the 70s, like dirty, nasty drive-in movie is kind of like his forte.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But anyway, I really like these movies. I think they're good. I don't think that they are like foundational, like blow your mind movies, but I do think that they are solid action films. And I think I think I lean more towards liking the first one than the second one. But the first one, my big issue with it is 2 feels more cohesive as a movie, whereas 1 feels like it's like 3 segments of movie.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with, but
yeah.
We'll get into that some more. I had a question I was going to ask you, and I can't remember. Anyway, you said you like Lucy Liu.
Oh, I love her.
She's the best.
She's great. And she plays such a cool character in
Yes.
this movie. And like learning the backstory for character was really interesting and horrible. And I will say I did like this like little animated bit
Yes.
where we learn about her backstory
Yeah.
and they use it to tell the backstory.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. Horribly tragic. Oh my god. I'm not surprised she turned out the way she was.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite moment is when they're having that like gang meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
And that one jackass is like just being a jackass.
Yeah.
And she like gets up and just cuts his head off.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I love because she has kind of the like, I don't know what it's called. I meant to look it up. There's like that Japanese style of like walking.
Yes.
Where you take like the little steps.
Yes.
And she does that, like she jumps up on the table and like
And
does
then-
that over to him and then just slices his head off.
Yeah.
And then she has the very funny like speech where she's like, she says something to the, tune of like, here we're going to all be collaborative. And if you have an issue, bring it to me and we'll talk about it. But if any of you motherfuckers bring up my heritage again, I'm going to cut off your fucking head.
Yeah. Are we clear?
Are we clear?
Good.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And
then her little psycho fucking like hit woman.
Oh, Go-Go. Yeah.
Go-Go? Holy fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She's the best.
Yeah.
I will.
She looks so familiar. Who is she?
Oh, man. Her name. Let me look it up.
I can't remember. But she looks familiar, and I'm like, I swear to God. And I meant to look her up after I watched the second one.
Yeah.
And then I just straight up didn't. So mainly because I finished these movie. I watched both of these yesterday, and I watched I started the last one last night at like fucking I don't know 10.
Okay.
But I had to take my dog out like 20 minutes in, so that added like an extra 15 minutes. So I didn't finish the movie till like 1. And so I was tired and I was like, I just want to go to bed.
I'm looking at her IMDb page. I don't see anything that you would have seen necessarily.
Okay.
But her name is Chiaki Kuriyama.
Wow.
She's also a singer.
Who does she sing for?
I don't know. I'm looking it up. I think just as a solo artist.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway,
her.
yes. So the first one. So okay. Well, let me break it down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So we first meet Uma Thurman
Yes.
as the bride, as she's being murdered on her wedding day, and we find out in the second one that it's not actually her wedding day; it was a wedding rehearsal.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but
yeah.
We then flash forward. Well, actually, no, that's not really. So the movie opens with her killing Vivica A. Fox,
Yes.
who plays Anita Green.
Yes.
Which is, it's kind of funny. I feel like that is almost like an intentional kind of twist where you get a pretty big actress, and it's funny that it's Vivica A. Fox, who we just talked about in Set It Off.
Yes.
I wasn't even thinking about that when I recommended this.
Yeah.
But so it's like a pretty big actress, and then she kind of gets killed off right away, right?
Immediately, yeah.
Um,
I will say that fight scene was really good.
it's very good. All the fights are very good. There's not as many of them as you might think there are going to
Yeah.
be, but they're all pretty solid.
Yeah.
So we meet her. She kills Anita Green, and then you kind of piece together like the story. And the story is that there's this woman, and in the first volume 1, we just know her as the bride.
Yeah.
There's kind of a funny running gag where they kind of bleep out her name every time.
That kind of pissed me off.
Okay.
I was pissed because I was like, I want to know her name.
Yeah.
I don't care that I don't get why you're bleeping it.
I think it was just to be funny. Like, it's just kind of a gag. It's
Okay.
like, it's like redacted. It's like,
I guess. I mean, because these are based off a book.
No. These aren't based on anything.
But it said at the credits, based on the characters The Bride by Q and U.
Yeah, that's Quentin Tarantino and Uma Thurman.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I didn't get that.
That's okay. It's not. Here's the thing. I feel like I have to say, like, Quentin Tarantino has such a specific, like, humor and like style, and I feel like it does take some getting used to. Like, if you're not a fan of his, like, and again, it just makes me sound like I'm a Quentin fanboy. I'm really not. I like some of it, but like, I feel like he does have a specific like He's
Yeah.
like very like, hey man, how's it going? Like, he's
Yeah.
got kind of an energy to him.
Yeah.
And it does take some getting used to. And that is kind of like one of those things where it's like,
I gotcha.
if you were just watching it, you'd be like, oh, I guess this is a book or something.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
Okay.
just he made it up. And
Okay.
well, he made it up alongside Uma Thurman. So,
Gotcha.
But so basically, the way this movie originated, from what I understand, during the filming of Pulp Fiction, because Uma Thurman plays a character in Pulp Fiction, he kind of was telling her that he had this idea of doing like a 70s like grindhouse kind of exploitation film. And she was like, "Oh, that sounds awesome! Like, I'd love to be a part of that." And he kind of wrote this character for her, and he had the idea of, a woman scorned and like on a path of revenge and like going to like get her former lover or whatever. And so they kind of wrote it over like, a series of months as they shot Pulp Fiction. And then he went away and he made a movie called Jackie Brown, which is more of like a crime, blaxploitation kind of thriller film.
Gotcha.
And then like he met up with Uma Thurman again and he was like, man, we should do this. Like, whatever. And so they kind of hashed out the bigger story. But he always kind of had her in mind because he just saw her as that character.
Yeah.
But that's why it says like by Q and U. It's because it's by
gotcha.
Quentin Tarantino and Uma Thurman.
Gotcha.
But yes, so I feel like I don't know where I was gonna go with that. Doesn't matter.
My thing with Quentin Tarantino is he seems like he was like one of those pretentious film students that like was like, oh, I love the French blah 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 bullshit, and I'm like, for me, I'm like, buddy, it's not that serious.
But here's the thing, right? I'm gonna push back on that a little bit.
Yeah,
the stuff he likes is not high art.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
The things he likes and that he is playing off of are not French films and important films. He's playing off martial arts movies and samurai films and that's why I like some of his movies because he is sort of the antithesis to somebody like Martin Scorsese or like he is somebody who has like artified garbage. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So it's sort of like, and the analogy that he actually made in one of the behind the scenes things, it's sort of like Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it's like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg had this idea of let's make one of those old serials we used to watch, right? Let's make an adventure serial. Let's make Zorro or whatever.
Yeah.
But let's cut out all the stuff we didn't like, all the whatever, and make it more modern. That's what Quentin Tarantino does, but with movies that he watched growing up, right? So
okay, that makes sense.
He watched movies like Shaft and like Coffee and 36 Chamber of Shaolin and like, Shogun Assassin and stuff like that. And that is what he likes and that's what he's making, right?
Gotcha.
So to me, I always feel like that's what I was talking about earlier, where I'm people assign this like, oh, he's like a film snob and like whatever. And it's like, sure, in the same way that I guess I am, in that I like very specific things.
Yeah.
And he's that way too, right?
Gotcha.
Like,
okay.
Anyway, yes.
Makes sense.
So I can understand. There is a pretension to him insofar as, but I wouldn't even call it pretension. I think he just has he's very enthusiastic about certain things. And I feel like at times he can get very, like I hate Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't hate it, but
I've never seen it.
I cannot sit through it. It is so long and it feels so self-indulgent, right?
Yeah.
It is literally just, here's all the stuff I like, right? But as opposed to something like Kill Bill, which has like a very specific plot and feeling and like movement to it, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood just feels like meaningless. It's just like, let's just loving shots of Hollywood and this woman's feet and that's it. And it's just like... I feel like there's nothing else to that movie. Whereas with this, I feel like there's at least some like some substance to it.
Yeah. Fair enough. What scene were we talking about?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I went off on a tangent.
Yeah, it's okay. The first scene, I think, is what we were...
Yes.
That first fight scene.
Yeah.
It was good.
It is good.
The That poor kid. Seeing her mom die like that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But I mean, she did warn her. She's like,
She did.
I got no quibbles about killing you in front of your kid. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather not, but
Yeah. Also, why set a date and time to like fight and like duke this out?
Yeah.
And then like pull a gun on a motherfucker.
that's what I'm saying.
That's some like cheap ass shit. What
I know.
the fuck?
Yeah, well, you can see why she killed her first.
Yes,
She
yeah.
was like, this is the easy one. I'll get it out of the way. And then,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the twist of...
I thought she killed Lucy Liu first.
No.
Oh.
No, she kills Vivica A. Fox. Okay. That's one thing. So, you can tell this was... Because... So, the Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown to a lesser extent, they all do this thing where they kind of are out of sequence.
Yeah.
Right? Pulp Fiction famously is told out of sequence. Like, you're not seeing it all in order, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing it out of order, and then at the end, it kind of all comes together.
Gotcha.
This movie, you can tell it's earlier in Tarantino's career because he's still kind of playing with that shtick,
Gotcha.
right? So, like, that is where this movie gets a little bit confusing because the very, very first shot is her as she's being shot, right?
Yes.
We then get the Vivica A. Fox scene.
Yes.
It then cuts back to before, after she'd been shot and she's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then goes forward again where she's like on her way to Japan.
Yes.
And then that's where we pick up the rest of the story.
Okay.
So,
Because I was just confused because after she kills Vivica A. Fox,
yeah.
we see her on the plane with her notebook.
Yeah.
And she's crossing off Vivica A. Fox's name, which is second on the list. And there's one before it that's already been crossed off.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm confused.
Maybe we're both confused.
We might both be confused.
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me look it up.
Because chapter 1 was just titled 2 and circled. And Vivica A. Fox was second on the list.
Okay, full disclosure. I watched part 1 a week ago. So I've seen it before, but I spread it out, right? Because
Yeah.
like for me 2 hours is a lot of movies. So
Yeah.
I watched about an hour on Monday and then didn't watch any of it until Wednesday. Finished it on Wednesday, and then I started part 2 on Thursday and finished that on Saturday. So
Gotcha.
part 1's a little fuzzy to me.
That's fair.
Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Everybody hold on. I think you're right though. I misunderstood the order of events.
No, you're good. Because, yeah, I think... I think when we start hearing about Lucy Liu's character...
Yeah.
It's like right after she gets out of the hospital and she goes to Japan to get her sword made. And then...
No, okay.
That's when she writes the list.
Yes, but technically I'm right. So
Okay.
So the order of events, and again, it's told out of sequence.
Yeah.
She's killed, goes into a coma in the hospital, wakes up,
Right.
kills that guy, steals his car, drives to Vernita Green's house, kills her.
Okay.
Then gets on the plane and goes to
Japan. Gotcha.
The part where we're getting the flashback of O-Ren's life is when she's in the car, right? And she like first gets out of the hospital and
Right,
she's
yes,
willing
right, yes.
herself to move.
Yes.
That's
right.
when we get the like O-Ren flashback that's animated.
Gotcha.
And then flashes forward to her on the plane
Gotcha.
as she's on her way to Okinawa to meet Hattori Hanzo.
Right.
And then from there she goes to Japan and kills O-Ren.
Right.
So it's told kind of wobbly, but
Yeah, that's weird. So then, I guess, why did they have... Who was the first name on the list?
I don't know.
Huh.
I think O-Ren is the first name on the list, but she crosses off
What's her name?
what's her name first. I think.
Okay.
I could just be misremembering, but
according
according to Wikipedia, this is the order of events. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yes.
Or is it saying the order of events as we are seeing it in the movie?
No.
Or okay.
As it plays out, like
in
technically within the plot. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. It's very confusing.
Yes, because that's the thing is I feel like in the second one they kind of abandon the like time fuckery.
Yes.
Like they play it. There is a long flashback in the middle, but it's not like, oh, we flash back and then we flash forward and then we flash back. It's just like story, flashback,
Flashback,
story.
story.
You know,
Right.
so it's a little bit easier to follow. Whereas part one, they're like, and we're in the present. Now we're in the past. Now we're back in the present. Now we're back in the past. Now we're in the future. Now we're back here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So there's a couple of people in this who you've seen before because of this show specifically.
Yes.
Do you recognize any of them?
Oh God, I think there was some people in the 88
Yeah.
that I think I remembered.
Yes.
I can't remember from where, but I remember seeing them from somewhere.
Yeah.
Have we watched a movie with Pai Mei?
Yes, we have.
Oh fuck.
This is why I'm glad we did this in the order we've done it.
Yeah.
Because now we get to like go back, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun where it's like now a lot of this movie makes a little bit more sense than it would have had I just thrown you into it.
You're right. What was that fucking movie?
It's called Clan of the White Lotus.
Yes, Clan of the White Lotus.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, I saw him and I was like, it's that guy.
Yes, it's Pai Mei. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they reference Clan of the White Lotus in this.
Oh shit.
There's that scene where Bill is like with we find out her name's Beatrix.
Yeah.
And he's like playing the flute and he's telling the story of Pai Mei killing the Shaolin monks. And he mentions
Yes.
the White Lotus clan
Yes.
showing up, you know, or whatever.
Yep.
That's a reference to that movie. So
Nice.
yes.
Okay.
Pai Mei is in this. And what I like about it is they're not like, oh, it's a descendant of Pai Mei or
Yeah.
it just is him.
That's just
Yeah.
actually Pai Mei.
He's just 700 years old.
Yeah.
Now here's the next question. Did you recognize the actor playing Pai Mei?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, I can't remember from where.
So he is the lead actor in Clan of the White Lotus, but he's
Right.
the protagonist in that movie.
Yes.
So
Okay, that's what I thought.
His name is Gordon Liu. He's also in the Crazy 88. So he's the like leader of it. He's the guy that just wears the mask.
Oh.
So he's playing double duty here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is a very in and of itself, not to be like meta about it, is like a reference to like
Yeah.
kung fu movies where a lot of
Gotcha.
times there'd be like a guy and then he'd be killed, but then he'd just be in the next movie as a different character.
Right.
Often as Pai Mei.
Yeah. There you go.
So that's kind of fun.
Yes.
But yes, he's the lead actor in Clan of the White Lotus.
Yes. I was actually a little bit excited to see him because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I like this dude.
I know, yeah.
Um,
And he's good fun in this. And we even get
He's great.
he gets the great part where she goes to grab his nuts and his nuts aren't there.
yeah. Yep. A classic.
Uh,
And then obviously Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep.
Was here. Is he in every Tarantino movie?
No, he's not in Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
And he's not in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if he's in Inglourious Bastards. I can't remember.
It seems like he's in every.
It seems like he's at least in every other one.
Yeah.
Because he's in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
He's in Jackie Brown. He's in this.
Yeah.
He's in
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. I think he's in what's that movie called? Death Proof.
Mm.
And I know he's in Django.
Yes. Is it that he likes Tarantino films, or is it that Tarantino just likes him as an actor?
They're
Or
just
is it both?
friends.
They're just
yeah,
friends.
they're just friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
That makes sense.
There's another actor in this that I wouldn't be surprised if you don't recognize him, but it's kind of a funny callback.
I'm trying to think of everybody. It's not Bill, is it?
It is Bill.
Oh, it is Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. When we finally see Bill's face,
Yeah.
I was like, this dude looks familiar.
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
So he's in Lone Wolf McQuade.
Holy fuck.
He's the main villain in Lone Wolf McQuade, if you remember. I can't remember his character's name.
Yes. Oh my god.
Now,
yes.
I'm not surprised you don't recognize him because in this he's visibly not drunk like
Yeah.
he was in Lone Wolf McQuade. And he's also, 20 years older.
Yeah. He plays Raleigh Wilkes.
Yes, that's right.
God, he looks old as shit right now.
Yeah. Well, he's dead now, but
Oh, damn. Rest in peace,
yeah.
King.
David
Damn.
Carradine.
My bad.
We talked about him at the time because he is a famous like B-movie actor.
Yeah.
Which is funny when you watch this because I feel like he is far more engaged in this movie. Like he's really good in this
yeah.
than he is in any of the movies that he's famous for.
yeah.
Like if you remember Lone Wolf McQuade, he is
Oh my
like he is
God.
like piss drunk the entire time, not trying at all.
yeah.
Whereas in this, he's like very like good and engaged and very like compelling
yeah.
as a character.
He does a lot of westerns.
Yeah, he did. He did do a lot of westerns because that's the other genre that this series is aping on is like spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spaghetti western flourishes in the soundtrack. A lot of horn and guitar. Yeah. David Carradine.
Was there was there a character or somebody named Sonny or something?
No, there's an actor named Sonny Chiba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Never mind. Because this David Carradine did a movie called Sonny Boy. And so I couldn't remember if there was like a character or something named Sonny.
I don't know. So the actor named Sonny Chiba is in it. He plays Hattori Hanzo, but
okay. I did like Hattori Hanzo.
Yes, he's good fun.
He's a cool guy.
Sonny Chiba is a very famous Japanese actor.
Uh-huh.
He's been in a ton of stuff, and he's actually playing a character that he played previously in a TV series.
Oh,
So there was a long running TV series in Japan. I think it's called like Darkness Clan or something, and he played a ninja named Hattori Hanzo.
oh,
And for Quentin, the joke is kind of that in that show, every season he would be like Hattori Hanzo in like a different decade. So he'd be like,
gotcha.
I'm the son of Hattori Hanzo, and now I'm the grandson or whatever.
yeah.
And so he's like, well, in this, he's like the 100th descendant of Hattori Hanzo. I do like that whole sequence where she goes to Okinawa and she's pretending to be like a dumb, American tourist.
Yep.
And then he kind of figures out that like she's looking for his skills as a sword maker. And she says like, I need to kill some vermin.
Yeah.
And he's like, why do you need like Japanese steel to kill vermin? And she's something like, it's big vermin. Like,
Yeah,
it's human sized or whatever.
Yeah.
And just the whole like he's building the sword and she's
Yeah.
like training and all that stuff. Big fan of that.
Oh, that was really good. That was really well done. And like the swords were all really well made.
Yes, yeah, they're very cool.
And it looked sick as hell.
So here, well, just to kind of round out, I guess the discussion of part one. It has I feel like it has the most well-known action sequence from both movies, which is the Crazy 88 massacre.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that scene just generally?
It was good. I will say I think they needed to turn the pressure down on the gushing blood. Because that shit was, I think, out of hand.
Yeah,
There was like,
it's definitely on purpose, but
yes, I know it's on purpose, but like, I think we can turn it down just a little bit. That was a lot. Very interesting to have it go black and white briefly.
Well, I'll explain why, but yes.
Okay. And then there was that kind of towards the end where we get the silhouette. I'm a sucker for silhouettes.
Yeah.
And so that I did really like. But it was a lot.
Yeah.
That was kind of insane.
It is kind of insane. I feel like so the gushing blood, that is definitely like an homage to like samurai movies where
Yes.
that
Yeah.
was a thing for sure. Where just like a guy would get cut like across the throat and he's just spurting blood like there is no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the black and white. So the story goes, and I don't know how true this is, he had to put it in black and white because if it was in color, they were going to hit it with an NC-17 rating because of how much blood is in that scene.
Gotcha.
And so he's like, okay, I'll just put it in black and white,
Yeah.
which is funny because I feel like it almost works better in black and white. Like, I feel like there is something like fun about like, you're like, all right, now shit's getting real. Like it's
Yes.
black and white now. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the reason, is that
Okay.
originally they showed it to the censors and they were like, yeah, if you keep that scene in, we're putting this NC-17. And he's like, fuck. So,
Shit. Yeah. No, that's fair. That makes sense.
I don't know how much I believe that, but
Yeah.
that's the story at least.
Interesting.
Yes. And then, so, I feel like I'm just gonna spend this whole episode being like, this is a reference. But so
That's fine.
there's a part where she kills a bunch of them, right?
Yeah.
And then Lucy Liu sends out Go-Go, who's
Yes.
like her right-hand woman.
Yeah.
And she's got like the chain weapon.
Yeah, with the ball.
There's a shot in that where she like throws it and it's like coming towards the camera. That is 100% a reference to The Flying Guillotine, which is a movie we've not watched yet, but yes, yeah.
I think we talked about it briefly.
We've talked about it briefly, but yes,
Yeah.
there's a reference to that. The other one that go ahead.
I think the Mythbusters did something with that.
Probably. It's a famous like ancient Chinese weapon that 100%
Yes.
is not real, but
Yes. I think I remember there was a Mythbusters episode where they tried to recreate that.
yeah.
I don't think it worked very well.
No, because the whole idea of it, and we will eventually watch The Flying Guillotine because it's one of my favorite martial arts movies of all time.
Yeah.
The idea of it is that you throw it, and it's supposed to land on someone's head, and then a basket drops down.
Oh,
And you're
okay.
supposed to pull it back and pull their head off.
Right.
That's kind
gotcha.
of like the joke. Or
Okay.
it's not a joke. It's supposed to be how it worked.
Right.
100% it was not a real weapon. Like
Yeah.
at some point they may have like drawn it up and like whatever. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how that you could even get that to work. But
Yeah. Logistically, that seems like
it makes
a
no
nightmare.
sense. But there is
Yeah.
a shot in The Flying Guillotine. There's a bunch of them where they throw it and there's like a shot from face on of it
Yeah.
being like,
Yeah.
you know, that character gets a great death where she just like,
Yes.
she like throws it and, you know,
Yeah.
she starts getting the blood coming out of her eyes.
Yeah.
That to me feels like maybe the visual of it is like a reference to like Ju-on or like one of those Japanese horror movies. Like I feel like there's a lot of the blood
Yes.
coming out of the eyes thing.
Yeah.
And then the silhouetted fighting, that to me feels like an homage to like the Shaw Brothers like fighting in front of a thing and like their intro kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of those martial arts movies start out that way.
Yeah.
And then the finale, which is it's just Lucy Liu and Beatrix, and they're like sword fighting in the whatever.
Yes.
And then she like cuts off the top of her head.
Yes.
And there's that brief moment where she's still alive, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it really was Hattori Hanzo steel."
Yeah.
To me, there's a scene in, and it's actually referenced in the volume 2. There's a scene in Shogun Assassin, which is part 2 of the Lone Wolf and Cub series, where a guy he gets like sliced in the throat, but in a very specific way, so that there's like a spurt of blood coming out of his throat, and he's alive for like part of it, and he's talking about how he's like, I always wondered about the way that a man's throat could get cut in such a way as to create a whistling sound coming through to mimic the way, and he's like alive for like an absurdly long time, like monologuing as he's dying.
Yeah.
That to me felt like that was kind of his little like nod to that.
Yeah. That fight was good.
It is very good. It's slow paced, but like in a nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, having not seen this in a long time, I thought she just cuts her head off. I forgot that she fucking scalps her.
Yeah. I'm more than scalps. God damn. That was like when they finally revealed it, I went, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal. But yeah, that was a good fight.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's shot very pretty. It's in a pretty location.
It is, and I like the snow. I like that they made it during the winter.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Very good.
Oh, another thing. Sorry. This is again.
You're good.
This episode is just gonna be like, hey, this is this thing. The yellow jumpsuit that Uma Thurman is wearing. That is I don't even want to say it's a reference. It's basically just the jumpsuit that Bruce Lee wears in
Right.
Game of Death.
Right.
which is a movie that never got fully finished, but famously Bruce Lee wears a bright yellow tracksuit in that. So that's kind of the reference there.
My first thought was the fucking X-Men uniforms.
It also kind of looks X-Men-y, yeah. Okay. Yes, part 1. Anything else you got to say about part 1? Or volume 1?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, it was okay.
Yeah.
I think I liked the second one a little bit better.
Okay. So part 1.
招。如果我輸俾你嘅話，我今日鬼有拜你為師。你睇到我功夫啊，試我腳法啊！你嘅劍術只係屬一般業餘嘅水平。殘廢比你強，再嚟啊！廢物。
So part 1 opens with, or volume 1. I don't know why I keep saying part, or volume 2. Yes. Volume 2 opens with she's on her way to kill Bud, who is he's Bill's brother.
Yes.
He's played by Michael Madsen, and he's kind of like a loser. Like he lives in a trailer. He's a bouncer for a titty bar.
Yeah.
And he like gets berated by his boss a lot because he's always late, apparently.
Yeah.
And he's got to clean a toilet. But he's kind of the first character to like get the jump on the bride.
Yeah.
He like shoots her with a shotgun full of rock salt.
Yeah.
Which,
ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of surprising because when you first meet that character, you think he's kind of just going to let her kill him.
Yeah.
And then he like ends up being the only one that like actually like gets the jump on her. But
yeah.
Yes. And then he buries her alive.
Horrible.
Horrifying.
Oh my God.
But then once she's buried alive, we get the fun flashback to the Pai Mei scene.
Yep.
Which is probably my favorite.
It was very good.
In the whole movie. It's just, it is the classic, like, it is very reminiscent of like 36 Chamber of Shaolin or any Kung Fu movie with like a training sequence.
Yep.
Where he is just being mean to her.
For no
real reason. But like in an effort to like train her.
Yeah.
And I love the running gag of him grabbing his beard and throwing it over his shoulder. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good time.
It is. Yeah, he was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
He was a huge dick, but it worked.
Yeah.
So.
And I like the title for that chapter. It's the treacherous tutelage of Pai Mei or something like that. Yeah. Just a fun sequence.
Yeah.
Very, very, very reminiscent of Shaw Brothers, martial arts movies.
Yeah.
It's even shot like one. Like
we get those like close ups.
Yeah, the zoom ins,
the zooms,
and the what do they call them, a snap zoom.
Yeah.
And there's even the like we said the bit where she like goes to grab his weak spot.
Yep.
And he just like closes his legs around her and flips her. And like, there's even the part where he jumps on top of her sword.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good time. I like how Bill says that. What is it? He hates Americans. He loathes Caucasians and has nothing but contempt for women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good time.
It is. I also like that, like, Bill had to, like, he had to go up to convince Pai Mei to let him train her. And then he comes back down and he's beat to shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. That was funny. Because what does he say? Like, because Beatrix asked him, she's like, what the hell happened to you?
Yeah.
And he's like, what did he fucking say?
He just says something like, just a conversation or just like a friendly whatever.
Yeah. Something
like
between
that.
two friends.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like part 2 definitely has more of a spaghetti western feel to it.
Yes.
Especially all the stuff with Bud And like I feel like the being buried alive thing is very
Yeah.
spaghetti western.
Yes.
It's a lot of like, I'm gonna bury you, buddy,
Yeah.
and he's just throwing somebody in a just a plain wooden coffin.
Yeah.
And it, like I should say too with these movies, obviously don't expect realism,
No.
right? Like there's
God,
no way
no.
you can 1-inch punch your way out of
No.
a coffin and then dig yourself out of a grave.
No.
Um,
If somebody buries you alive and they bury you 6 feet under, you're dead.
you're dead. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, even if you were managed to open a
Yeah.
hole in the coffin, it's gonna fill with dirt and then you're gonna
Yeah.
suffocate. So,
I think the Mythbusters tried that too.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
no.
You die.
Yeah, you're just gonna die. So don't get buried alive,
Yeah.
everyone.
Avoid it at all costs.
Avoid being buried alive. That's my advice for today. But I just appreciate it in a movie when we're seeing somebody training for something.
Yes.
And then it pays off.
Yes.
Like I think that's fun because
It is.
She's even like, why the hell would I need to punch somebody like 1 inch away from me? Like,
Yeah.
what's the And then it comes in handy, and it's like, aha, Pai Mei knew all this time.
Yeah. It's almost like he's a 700-year-old crazy man.
Yeah. Again, I just love that they're not like, oh, it's Pai Mei's great great grandson. They're like, no, it's just him.
That's actually just
He's
Pai Mei.
just very old. Yeah.
He's immortal, actually.
Yeah, actually. He just drinks tea and meditates, and that keeps
Yeah.
him alive. Yes. And then she also so Michael Madsen, Bud, he gets killed by Elle,
Yes.
who's kind of the other assassin. She's
Yeah.
got one eye.
Yeah.
His is the only death that I found kind of unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't get to kill him. He
Yeah.
gets bit by a black mamba and just like
Yeah.
dies on the
Dies.
floor. Yeah.
I mean, technically, because Beatrix is known as the Black Mamba,
Yeah.
he's killed by a Black Mamba.
That's true. Yeah.
But it's big stretch.
Yeah, a little bit of a big stretch. Yeah. And then you get the sword fight with Elle.
Yes,
which is quite good.
Which is really good.
And then she plucks her eye out, which is
Yeah, that was
fun.
horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then the worst, but I was kind of okay with her plucking the eye out,
Yeah.
and then she had to go and step on it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's gross, but it's very obviously like a googly like jelly eyeball, so it
Yeah.
doesn't really bother me.
It bothered the fuck out of me.
Oh,
That shit
okay.
was nasty. Ugh. Anything with eyes, I cannot do.
Did you like when she comes flying through the door?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a little jank.
I thought
but
it was very funny.
yeah.
It's like that gif of Godzilla where he like gets up on his whatever and he's just flying on his tail.
Oh.
Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I have.
That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah. But no, yeah, that fight scene was very good.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
And then, she kills Elle, pulls her eye out, and then she's on her way to meet Bill.
Yes.
And then when she gets there, one thing we didn't mention, she was pregnant.
Yes.
When she was killed. She's then not pregnant when she wakes up.
Yeah.
Because it's 4 years later.
Yep.
But you kind of just assume the baby
Died. Yeah.
It's then revealed at the end of part 1 that the baby is alive.
Yes.
Which I read, so we didn't really talk about it, but originally this was meant to be one movie, right? So
Right.
it was written as one movie, but they split it up because obviously if it was all together, it would be a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
And distributors would not distribute a 4-hour movie.
No.
Because it wouldn't be commercially viable. So
Yeah.
rather than cut a bunch of stuff out and cut the whole thing down to 2 hours, Tarantino was like, I'll just make it two movies because then, whatever. But there is a cut of the film, and it's not widely available. Like, you can't get a Blu-ray with it.
No.
Called The Whole Bloody Affair, which is just a 4-hour long movie. And in that, at the midway point where you learn that her baby is alive, they cut that out. So you don't get the reveal until she shows up at Bill's house.
Gotcha.
Which I feel like works better.
Yeah.
Like, I understand if it's a 2-part movie, you want to leave it with a cliffhanger, right?
Yes.
But I like that is a good reveal. Like, it's more shocking that she shows up and you're like, oh, holy shit, the kid's alive.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish they hadn't. I mean, again, like you said, I get it, but also
Yeah.
that would be a sick ass, like, even after 2 movies, you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
holy fuck.
Yeah. Like, I get it in the sense that, like, it's if you remember that these were released 6 months apart, it makes more sense that you would do that because, again, it encourages people to come see the second one, right? But if you're just watching them back to back, it is more fun if that reveal is kept until the end.
Yes.
But anyway, so she shows up at Bill's house. He's got her kid, BB.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I thought was funny was at first I kind of felt like they were going to do a little bit of like, oh, let's all be a happy family and whatever. And they kind of do it for like 5 minutes before they put the kid to bed. And they're like, all right, let's kill each other.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a fun kind of rug pull.
Yes.
You also get a flashback to when she finds out she's pregnant.
Yes.
And there's that woman who's sent to kill her, and then
Karen,
she talks her out of it.
Yes. Yep. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's my thing. Ever since the first Deadpool movie came out and Colossus is like telling Deadpool, you know, you only get so many moments to be a hero, and he's like doing his whole stupid monologue.
Yeah.
And he just fucking shoots Ajax in the middle of it. I think we need more of that.
Yes.
Like, I get the whole monologue and blah, blah, blah. Just shoot the motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was kind of hoping that even after she saw her kid, she'd be like, okay, well, I'm just going to kill him, take my kid home, and life is good. But no, we had to do the whole everything.
Yeah. But I do like she hits him with the 5-point palm exploding heart technique.
That was, for me, like, seeing that was cool, but also was a bit anticlimactic because I was hoping for like one more sword fight.
Yes. It is anticlimactic. You're right.
But also, it was just kind of funny that he got fucking owned.
Yeah, he tries to take his sword out. She shoves it back in and then hits him with the
thing. Yeah,
the thing, and then his heart explodes.
Yeah, and he's like, "Ah, damn, Pai taught you that shit." Fuck. All right, well, GG's, I guess.
I simply would not stand up.
Yeah,
I would just be like, I'm just gonna ride this out. I'm just sitting here.
Yep. I guess I'm gonna live the rest of my days here
in this chair.
Can you hand me my phone so I can call some people?
Yes. The 5-point palm exploding heart technique, that is definitely a thing in other kung fu movies. I can't think of one specifically, but that is kind of a thing of like, I've got this specific set of movements I can do to hit all your pressure points and, you know,
like the
nullify you.
You're gonna hate when I'm like in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
The fucking, what is it called? I can't remember.
I don't know. That is 100% a reference, a thing in Kung Fu Panda too.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda is like Kill Bill for kids, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a taste of like exploitation films for children.
For kids. You got to start them young, you know?
Yeah, you do. And then you work your way up to Kill Bill.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's in the middle there? Like Kung Pao, Legend of the Fist or whatever?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. No, the gotcha move. I can't. I don't
5-point palm exploding heart technique.
5-point. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And also, it seemed. I mean, his heart explodes inside of his body, so we're not gonna like see anything. But based off of the other like 3 hours and 50 minutes that we got, I figured we at least get to hear the pop or
That's
something.
True. He does just fall on the floor.
He just falls over.
And then he's sitting there like the Peter Griffin meme where he's just like on his side.
Yeah.
There's also very funny, like, because there's like end credits where they show each character in their name. And when they show Bill, he's just crumpled on the ground.
He's just, yeah.
Which I thought was funny.
Yeah. I was hoping for one more sword fight. Yeah. Because like when she gets to Bill's house, we see his sword.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going to get some crazy ass. And he talked up the fucking beach.
Yeah, he did.
I was excited about seeing a sword fight on the fucking beach.
I know.
I mean, seeing the 5-point bitch kill yourself move or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
That was cool.
5-point palm exploding heart technique.
5-point palm exploding heart technique.
I'll demonstrate it now.
Oh no.
Oh, it didn't work. That's
Oh,
okay.
Well, he hasn't taken.
Wait,
5
that's
steps
true. He
yet.
hasn't taken his 5 steps yet.
Yeah.
I
thought that was a very specific number.
Yes. Yeah. They're all like that, though.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
you watch any of those old kung fu movies, they're always like, my system is that I hit you in all of your pressure points, and then you take 4 breaths and you die. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's specific.
Yeah. You have to wait 37 minutes and 29 seconds. You have to file your taxes, and you have to get exactly $30 back from the federal government, and then you'll die.
And then you'll die. It's like, well, I just won't do any of that then.
Yeah.
What if I take 5 backwards steps? Does
Yeah.
that undo it?
Does that count? Yeah. Does that fix it? Do I become immortal?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the secret that Pai Mei's not telling anybody.
That's true,
If
yeah.
if you take 5 steps backwards, you actually become immortal. He did the technique on himself and then
Yeah.
took 5 steps and went, all right, great. Now I
I'm
live
back.
forever.
Although he does die.
Oh, that's true.
He gets poisoned.
Oh, yeah, that's
Um,
right. Because I
yes.
was a bitch.
I know.
She was also kind of a bitch.
Yes.
She was real mean.
But I feel like the point of that character is that, like, because her and Uma Thurman look very alike.
Yes.
And so I feel like the point is supposed to be that they're, like, competing with each other for, like, Bill's affection. Which, like, to be real, like, he's a dirty, ugly old man. So, like, I'm not sure why they're
yeah, he's
worried about
yeah, with this little fucking rat.
his little rat ponytail. Yeah.
that thing is. Ugh.
Oh, David Carradine.
Yeah.
Now, I know I explained this during the Lone Wolf McQuaid episode, but David Carradine was famously in the TV show Kung Fu for many years. He played an Asian character. David Carradine is not Asian.
He's about as white as they come.
Yeah, just about. Now, to be fair, he's not playing an Asian character in this.
Yeah.
And also, to be further fair, it was the 70s, you know? They didn't have any Asian people.
They hadn't invented them yet.
They hadn't invented them yet, so... not that excuses it, but...
Right. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, so a couple of fun things before we start to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the music.
Oh yeah, the first one was about the RZA.
Yes, by the RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Who we've talked about before.
Yes.
He's good friends with Quentin Tarantino. They're obviously both big kung fu martial arts fans.
Yep.
Well,
with a name like Wu-Tang Clan.
With the Wu-Tang Clan, yeah, which they are named after. There's a kung fu movie called Shaolin versus the Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
And that's what they're named after.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, okay. Anyway.
Bothering his sibling.
Yeah. Yes. RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan. He does kind of all the incidental music.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the like big needle drops are obviously like other bands that Quentin likes.
Yeah.
In the first one, there's a cameo from the 5-6-7-8s.
Yes.
Who are that Japanese surf rock girl
Yeah.
group. Super cool.
They fucking rule.
They rule.
Holy fuck.
They were fucking killing it.
Yeah.
And
Also, hell of a name.
the 5-6-7-8s. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And so so if you watch the behind the scenes, there's like 2 behind the scenes things. Quentin Tarantino tells this very long story in the first one about like getting the CD with the 5-6-7-8s on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I went into this clothing store and they were playing it on the TV. And so I went up to the cashier and I said, who is this band? And they told me that it was, on their store CD. And I was like, I got to buy that store CD from you right now. But they told me I got to go down to Capitol Records and I got to get the CD from them. But I had to be on a plane in about an hour. So I was just like, I'll give you money right now. You can go down to Capitol Records and replace your own, CD with
Yeah.
mine. And the guy was like, I got to call the manager. And I told him, well, you better call the manager then because I got to get that CD from you. And he just went on and on about this story
Yeah.
for like 5 minutes.
Your imitation of Quentin Tarantino sounds like the Joker.
He's a little bit like the Joker, yeah.
Yeah. Is
yes.
he really? I've never heard him talk.
No, that's basically what he sounds like. So the other thing I was going to say, right? There is I don't know if I should say this. I might cut this out if I get whatever.
Let's do it.
Here we go. So here's the thing, right? You brought it up at the beginning.
Yeah.
There is a thing in Quentin Tarantino's movies where there's a lot of N-words,
Oh my
right,
God.
in his dialogue.
Yeah.
And he has variously defended that, right? Insofar as like that's a lot of the language he grew up around because he grew up in a black neighborhood and whatever.
Okay.
That's all fine, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying one way or the other.
Yeah.
I don't have the right skin tone to discuss the
You're
whatever.
right. Yeah.
Here's what I am going to say, right? If you're best friends with Samuel L. Jackson and RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you get a pass. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you get
Yeah.
a pass. I'm just saying if there were two people who could give you a pass,
It's gonna be those two.
it might be those two.
Yeah.
If the leader of the Wu-Tang Clan says you can say it, I'm not saying you should, but maybe in front of him you can. I don't know.
Behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors, you know, he might give you the thumbs up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little wink, you know.
Like if the RZA is like, that's fine, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's, you know, I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm
Right.
just saying if Samuel L. Jackson and the RZA told me I could say the N-word, I probably still wouldn't, but I might think about it.
The thought would seriously cross your mind.
It would cross my mind.
We
You
would
shouldn't.
not. Nope. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
I know you want to. Don't do it.
You shouldn't. But I might think about it. If RZA told me I could do it.
I think about it for one
I think
second.
about it for 1 second, and that's a second longer than you should think about it. But I would think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had that thought. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if there's one guy who's invited to the cookout, it's probably Quentin. You know,
Yeah.
because like he'd be like, I can bring the RZA. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I can bring the RZA and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. Again, I just Anyway, there is very serious discussion to be had about that. Again,
Yeah.
I look like this, so I'm not gonna.
Well, and I'm.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna have that discussion. I
But
just,
no.
you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was kind of my big thing with the Hateful Eight is like, they said that fucking word like, I don't know, 100 times in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this.
No. Yeah. It becomes a bit much.
Yeah, and also I didn't like where that movie was going. The story was kind of weird, and I was just like, I don't care about this.
That's not my favorite one by
Yeah.
far. I will say, if you like Kill Bill, I don't know. I feel like his best movies are his action heavy ones. Like I feel
Gotcha.
like Kill Bill and Inglourious Basterds and Django are kind of his best movies.
Yeah,
And then like Pulp Fiction obviously is, well loved for good reason, but
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like his last two got a bit self-indulgent.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That movie's like an hour too long. But yes, I don't. Is that picking up on the camera? No, it's not quite. There's a little tiny dog right over here. Yeah. Anything else you got to say about Kill Bill?
The name of that fucking truck was so
The
funny.
Pussy Wagon?
I was not expecting that. But then when we found out how she got that truck and
Yeah.
from who she got it from, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, that guy was a sleazeball.
Yes.
So
So
I hated him.
she does at the beginning she kills a man named Buck.
Yeah.
Who it's more than heavily implied. It's pretty much outright said he runs a business where he allows men to basically come in and molest women who are unconscious.
Yeah.
Right. Thankfully that guy gets good comeuppance. Both of them do.
Yeah.
One gets his bottom of his face bitten off.
Yeah.
And then Buck gets his head caved in with a door, which is good.
Yes,
that
very-
should happen to you.
Yes.
Um,
If you're trying to rape people,
yeah, you should get your head caved in.
yes.
But the nice thing is, she gets his car, which is called the Pussy Wagon.
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of the Pussy Wagon,
Pussy wag.
the Pussy Wagon actually makes a cameo in the Lady Gaga music video for Telephone, featuring Beyonce. I watched it this morning.
Oh, okay.
And that was actually Quentin Tarantino's idea. For some reason, Lady Gaga was having lunch with Quentin Tarantino, and he was like, "You should put the Pussy Wagon in your next video." And she was like, "Okay."
All right, Joker.
Yeah. So everybody go check that out.
Hell yeah. Yeah, during that whole hospital scene, it was like every minute. It
Yeah.
was just the SVU bum
Yes. Yeah.
like consistently, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
Where's Ice-T?
I know. Oh, yeah. Grimy. That opening scene is very grimy.
Yeah.
Hospital scene.
Yeah,
There's also the iconic like Elle comes in with the needle to like kill her, and she's whistling that song. That's kind of like a famous like thing. And she's wearing like the eye patch and like the white kind of nurse's outfit. That's kind of become like an iconic look.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say, so if everybody has heard the song Kill Bill by SZA, it's kind of a fun, like, the world is cyclical, right?
Yeah.
Because SZA, the singer, her name comes from taking her word, because her name I think is like Susan.
Yeah.
She shortened it to SZA after RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan. RZA did the music for Kill Bill.
Right.
SZA made a song called Kill Bill.
Right.
Which is basically about a woman who kills her ex because she's like jealous or whatever.
Yeah.
And the music video is like very inspired by Kill Bill.
Okay.
So she wears like a red and black jumpsuit.
Okay.
As opposed to like the yellow and black. There's a scene where she like kills a bunch of dudes like in silhouette.
Yeah.
And there's even like an animated sequence like right at the end. Yeah, it's good. It's worth watching.
Okay.
Now I want to be clear. My wife approves of me saying this, but SZA,
Yeah.
hello,
How you doing?
how you doing? That's all I'll say about that. Just
Yep.
yep. Everybody go watch the Kill Bill music video. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much all I got.
That's all I got to.
Okay. Yes. What would you rate? Okay. Do you want to rate them separately or as one big thing?
I'm gonna do 3 separate ratings.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. The first one I'm going to rate a. I'm gonna rate a 6.
A 6.
I'm gonna rate it a 6.
Okay.
The second one I will rate a 7.
Okay.
As a whole, 7.5.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That doesn't quite average out, but
Well,
you think it's better as a whole thing than as
yes,
individual
yes,
parts.
I
Okay.
think yes. As a whole, I think it works better. And I'm wondering if maybe I would like it if I watched the full
the whole bloody affair.
the whole bloody
Yeah.
affair. As individual movies, I know it doesn't average out. The first one is 6, the second one is 7. As a whole, I think the story is very interesting, and I think for all the shit that I give Tarantino, I think it was well done.
Yeah.
And I think if I had watched the whole bloody affair instead of each individual one, 7.5.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the opposite. I think part 1 I would give like an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I think. And then part 2 I think I would give like a 7.
Okay.
I think it's just part 1 I just find much more enjoyable. Even though part 2 does have the Pai Mei sequence, which is just like everything that I love.
Yeah.
And then as a whole, I don't know. I just feel like it works better as 2 movies. And I know that's like
That's fair.
It wasn't intended to be 2 movies, but I feel like because they have such different vibes,
Yeah.
they work better separately. So I think together I would probably give it like a 7, just a flat 7.
Okay.
And that's just because like again, I think it would be too long and just a bit of a slog. But
Yeah. Understandable.
I like them as individual movies. And I suggest breaking them up. It's more fun that way.
Really?
Watch an hour at a time.
Okay.
That's how I recommend watching every movie. Just
Yeah,
watch
that's
an
fair.
hour
Yeah.
and then scroll on your phone for half an hour and then come back.
I will say I took a break, so I watched the first one in the morning.
Yeah.
Like right after I had breakfast. And then I did a bunch of shit the rest of the day. And then I watched the second one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good. And I think if I did watch the whole bloody affair, I would probably take a break at like the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I have to do for the extended Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
movies. I have to take a break at about the 2-hour
Yeah.
mark, especially with Return of the King.
That's why I don't watch the extended editions.
That's fair. We'll get into those later.
We
but
will at some point. We'll do a
Yeah.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Um,
I only watch the extended editions
okay.
because I'm a sucker for that shit.
Okay.
But
All right.
that's me.
Well, that's been Kill Bill,
Yep.
which means it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show. It's a little segment called Editor's Picks.
He's fast asleep.
He is fast asleep. This dog is crashed out. Okay. Yes, Editor's Picks. What do you got?
Dead Poet Society.
Oh, okay. Robin Williams.
With Robert Williams.
Rabbit.
Rabbit. Robin Williams.
Yeah.
As always, he's a fucking powerhouse.
Yes.
He is so good. And it's because Robin Williams, as we all know, is quite funny, or was quite funny.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. This Dead Poet Society is one of those movies where, like, he doesn't really get to flex his comedy, but that's okay because holy fuck, he does this like sort of like melancholy sort of just powerful
Yeah.
performance that's so good. And
Yeah.
it's like not your traditional August, you are such an asshole. Jesus Christ. It's not his like usual forte.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Dead Poet Society, really great. It'll make you cry.
Yeah.
But holy fuck, it's good.
It's a good movie.
Fantastic movie.
Okay. I've seen that. I saw it in school, weirdly.
Oh yeah.
I watched it in a psychology class.
Yeah.
I can't remember why.
That makes sense.
Yes. Good movie.
Yeah, really good.
So I am a mess of chords. I'm going to recommend a couple of movies. So if you watched Kill Bill and you liked the vibes, I have some movies to throw at you. So if you like the martial arts part of it, I would recommend everybody go and watch the 36th Chamber of Shaolin,
Okay.
which is a Shaw Brothers film. I think it's from 1980, I want to say. It's very, very good. Classic. Gordon Liu is the star of that one. I would also recommend everybody go watch The Five Venoms. That's another Shaw Brothers movie. It's directed by a guy named Chang Che. Just very reminiscent of the sort of the Shaw Brothers-y stuff.
Yeah.
And then if you want some Pai Mei, go watch Fist of the White Lotus.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Clan of the White Lotus.
Banger.
Hell of a movie. Crazy. Now, if you liked the samurai stuff, obviously go watch Lone Wolf and Cub. Any of those are good. You could watch Shogun Assassin, which is the first two cut together into one movie. It's got a very 70s vibe about it. It's got a great dub. So go watch that. And then I would also recommend there's a film called Lady Snowblood, which we will probably cover on the show at some point because it's fantastic. But it is a female-led samurai film from the 70s. Very solid, very bloody. A lot of visual references that went into Kill Bill are from Lady Snowblood. So everybody go watch that. And then if you're into spaghetti westerns, I would recommend go and watch a movie called Silence. I believe it is by what is his name? Scorabucci? Oh my god, I can't remember his name.
Scorsese's
Sergio
cousin.
Sergio, hold on. Silence. Sergio Corbucci, The Great Silence.
Nice.
It is a snowy, violent, mean western. You could also watch any of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Any of that trilogy. So Fistful of Dollars, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, or For a Few Dollars More. Any of those are good.
I've never seen any of those.
They're all good. We'll watch one of them at some point.
Hell yeah.
Because we got to get into spaghetti westerns at
Oh,
some point.
yeah.
And I would also recommend Duck, You Sucker, which is which is another Sergio Leone movie. It's one of his more underseen films, but it's good. And it's got a great name.
It does. That's great. That's fantastic.
Yes. So any of those I would recommend.
I think people need to just start making their movies have better titles. 'Cause,
I agree.
Like, Duck, You Sucker?
Duck, You Sucker.
That's
That's
dope.
a hell of a name.
That's
Yeah.
a hell of a name. Yeah.
I recommend that. Also, it's not a movie, but a thing I want to promote. There's a band I really like called Bloodywood. We talked about them when we talked about Monkey Man.
Oh, yes.
They have a new album out. It's called New Delhi.
Hell yeah.
If you like Indian nu metal, then that's up your alley. I've been listening to that lately, so that's some good stuff. Also, this is self-promotion. There's another episode of my spin-off podcast, We Don't Know Ball, out. We talked about March Madness. We rounded up some fun sports news. Came out last week, but it's still worth listening to because March Madness is still happening. So,
Who do you got?
To win it all,
Yeah.
I got Tennessee.
Ooh,
That was my like sleeper pick.
gotcha.
My co-host Dugan, he picked Houston to win it all.
Okay.
So,
All right.
couple of if you're still filling out your bracket, even though we're well past the second round at this point. Yes, go listen to that. But Grayson, take us out of here.
Rate us. You can give us 5 stars right there in your app.
Yep.
If you're listening on like Spotify or anything. If the button is a thumbs up, click that one.
Yes.
Yes. If you have the ability to leave a comment, do so. Helps us out. Engage the algorithm. If you're on any of those algorithmic sites.
Yes.
YouTube especially. Like, comment, subscribe. I know you probably are sick of hearing that because every fucking YouTuber says it.
Yeah.
But there's a reason, and it's because when you press all of the buttons, the algorithm goes, hey, people are engaging with this. I'm going to push it.
It helps.
Yeah. And so there's a reason they say it. I know it's tiring, but
even if you comment calling me a dumb bitch, it still helps.
yeah. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that, like, if you're leaving like mean comments, you're still just helping the
You're helping us
creator.
out. Yeah.
So if you don't want to help us out,
Yeah.
don't do anything.
Yeah, just ignore us.
Yeah. Don't engage.
Don't engage.
But if you do want to help us out, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, rate us in your app,
Yeah.
Leave comments. We're on Instagram.
Getting harassed.
I am getting
by a dog.
Hi, baby. You can go look at our Instagram. We do YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels.
Yep. And TikToks. I post on there. I don't look at it, but I do post on it.
Okay.
So.
There you go.
Big
good
stretch.
Good stretch, buddy. Oh, you're falling.
Oh.
All
Well,
right.
Grayson's being made out with a dog.
Hi.
Yes. Send us an email, vivalaction@gmail.com. You can leave us a recommendation,
Hi.
and we will take a look at it like we did for this episode.
Yeah.
You can leave that at the Google form linked below.
Yup.
You can send us some money.
Oh, yes. Ko-fi, however.
Coffee, KO-FI. You can send us a minimum of $1. Anything you send us goes right back into the show.
Yep.
So thanks for that.
Helps us get coffee, literally.
Literally, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Share it with a friend. That really helps out the show, probably
Yup.
most of all.
Yup.
Yes.
Shout out to, like, all my coworkers
Yeah.
that support this shit. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Yes.
Oh, Edgar. I know you hadn't seen Kill Bill yet. I recommend it.
It's your excuse
Yeah.
to go watch it now.
I know we were talking on Friday. I'd say go watch it. I think it's worth your time.
Okay.
So
I like this interlude to talk to one man specifically.
yeah. I don't know. It was after work. We were in the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
I told him what we were watching, and I told him I let him know. So.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you
Let
go,
you
Edgar. Yes. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
If you want to find me, I'll be at the bottom of a barrel, scrounging for scraps.
Oof.
And you'll find Grayson
Sucking up drain water with a crazy straw.
Oh boy,
Wow.
you're gonna get cholera.
Probably.
Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, bye.